Hi there. Was that spooky enough for you? Betty Rubble. Hope I didn't scare the crap out of you just yet. This is nothing. It's just some ambiance, right? How are you guys doing tonight? What's everybody doing tonight, Saturday night? Either here just watching me and doing nothing else, or having a cookout, watching some boxing. What are you guys doing? I've got some pretty cool stuff. I've got some EVPs. You guys know what EVPs are? Electronic voice phenomenon. You know, you can people that record sound or spirits and stuff. And I got a bunch of those lined up. Some really, really, I was going to say bad ones, but by bad, I mean there's like young people involved, and it's just kind of sad, but it's really interesting. Hungry Hippo, welcome. Hey, Nadia. Frank, how are you, sir? Be safe out there. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much. You're a good man. Please be safe out there. You're kind of ugly out there, right? Hi, Hilda. If they're in the music, oh, it's not that scary. Come on. It's not that bad. But I couldn't, I didn't want to do just a regular intro because it's, it's that kind of thing. The Monster Mash, what's up? The Manny Mash, that's right. How you doing, Richard? Thanks for hanging out or stopping by anyway. Just got back from Dairy Queen, ice cream craving. Oh, man. I wish I could do some ice cream right now. I can't eat that crap anymore at night. Fausto, glad you made it. Going to be an interesting night. I hope so. I have a guest from another page supposed to be on with us tonight. RGV Scary Stories is a page on Facebook also. And that gentleman agreed to come on in just a little bit and talk some ghost stories and stuff like that. Paul, how are you, sir? Still on the road. Be safe out there. I know you're not driving, but you're out of town. Joe, how are you, sir? How's your mom doing? Hope she's doing good. I hope she's comfortable at least. Hope she's all right, Joe. Thanks for coming out. Lucy, welcome. How are you? I thought I saw you at the hospital last week. I don't know if that was you or not. I didn't want to call out your name because I've never met you before, but Lucy. But you know that feeling when you call somebody out and you think that's them and then it turns out not to be, and then you're like, oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't want that to happen. So buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy night. It won't be so bad. Not going to be that bad. So do you guys believe in the afterlife? Do you believe that when the spirit leaves the body, it goes somewhere, but it's got nothing to do whether or not you believe in heaven and hell. It's more of do you believe that your spirit goes on to live somewhere and they go away, right? I don't know. There are many reports of when people dying. Some have said they can actually see like a ball of light just kind of go up and float above and just kind of disappear. You guys believe that stuff? I totally do. Um, and I believe that. I mean, you got to believe there's a heaven and a hell, right? I mean, for the most part, you don't have to, but I want to say I believe in that. And if you believe that, if you believe in God or Jesus or in a God, then you have to believe that there's spirits walking around. Not all of them go to to the light, is what they say. There are people that say, you see spirits, that's because they're lost. They don't know where to go, and you can tell them if you ever come across some kind of paranormal activity, which is an actual term. It's not just the name of a movie. Paranormal activity does happen, and the one story that freaks me out is when I was living in Chicago, and 2-story building. Lived on the second floor, in-laws on the first. All doors are open. Nobody's home downstairs. Well, somebody was home downstairs, but from upstairs, we heard this loud bang, like somebody had dropped something really heavy. So ran downstairs, and the old school dresser drawers with the mirror attached to it, bedroom stuff, right? All 3 dresser drawers shot out and hit the wall across the room. And the dog was there under a table freaking out. And it's like, and they all did it. It happened at the same time. Just all 3 just ejected and went airborne to the wall across the room. And I was like, what the hell is up with that? That freaked me out. Like, are you doing a ghost tour? Yes, I got that link, and I am trying to sign up for that. I know a couple of people here are very interested in that. Lucy, yes, I believe. Hey, Steffi, thanks for joining. You've been visited. Oh, man. Have you guys had, if you have parents that have passed or any family that have passed who say they've been visited by people and it turns out those people were not around anymore? I remember my mom saying this was within the last 30 days, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. And she said, oh, this lady, Doña, I'm not going to say the name. It's in Chicago, but I won't say her name. No, she was here. She came to say that, she's waiting for me, and she came by to visit. And I was like, Ma, she's been dead for like 10 years already. And no, she was here. She came to the room, to the hospital. I'm like, oh, man, that gave me the chills. That was, that's a whole other part of death, right? Is that they start to, I don't want to say hallucinate, but your mind just kind of starts to go, and I believe people come down and they're ready to take them. I've heard the stories all over the place. I've heard them many times. Oh, my cousin, my brother, and my father was there. They were by the bed telling me, come on, let's go. I've heard stuff like that all the time. Absolutely, yes. Yes, very much. Yeah. You gotta, I want to say you almost have to believe that. We in law enforcement have seen many paranormal events and have been dispatched to them as well, but we chose to keep these stories to ourselves because no one will believe us. I'll believe it. I can imagine in the face of tragedy, a lot of things build up, and in the places that you guys visit, there could be a lot of residual stuff. I wish, I wish I can see a lot more, but at the same time, I don't. You know what I mean? Like these electronic voice phenomenon recordings, they're cool to listen to, and they're awesome. They're fascinating, freaking fascinating. But it's kind of like the Ouija board. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Anybody ever play with a Ouija board? Yeah. But it's kind of like a Ouija board. When you start summoning, I messed that word up. When you start calling and trying to get answers and responses from, we'll call them spirits. You're opening a door, and you'll start to hear, and you'll get responses, and you may not. It depends on whether that soul, that spirit, has moved on or not. But once you open up and start asking, like you're talking, and they start to answer you, you're opening a door for a lot of other things to come in. So probably not a good practice, but it's freaking fascinating. We're going to hear some of those tonight too. Fausto, I'm a believer. I saw some stuff at the old airport. See, that's the stuff I want to hear about. I mean, why does this stuff only happen at? It doesn't only happen at night. It's just that in your busy day, you don't notice a lot of things. At night, when it's more quiet, you might be a little more still here and there. You might catch a few things. I knew it was a day when my son was. Oh man, that's sad. Don't tell me about that. How did you know that? How did you know that, Lucy? My friend died in a motorcycle accident, and I remember he visited me in a dream, telling me he was sorry that he never responded. Oh, ouch. Well, it was nice that he came to visit, right? Steffi, I had the same kind of dream. It was in Chicago. I had a dream that one of my best friends, I was in my car, and he knocked on the glass on the window of the car I was driving. So I turned to look, and it was him, and he was like this, waving at me. Smile, and he waved just like this. And then I woke up that morning, and my other friend called, my other best friend. He goes, "Hey, man, I got some news." I said, "What?" He goes, "You didn't hear, right?" I said, "Hear what?" He goes, "So-and-so, he passed away last night." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And I said, "Get the hell out of here." You know, I was in my dream. He came to me, and he said goodbye. And he's like, "No, he didn't. No, don't say that." I'm like, "Yes." He knocked on my window. He went like this. That freaked me. That was, man. But it's, you know, at first it creeped me out. I told everyone at work, Nelly and Kukui, no, it's not that stuff. This is real stuff. It's not. We're not talking about Slender Man or anything. But it did freaked me out at first, and then later I was like, man, he came to say goodbye. That means I meant something to him. I think I meant I was some kind of friend or a good friend or somebody that he did think about, that he came to say goodbye. So I think that's important when they come and see you in your dream, right? At least I think it is. According to Dante's Inferno, there are 9 cycles of hell. Yes, I'm a believer in the afterlife. I don't know about 9 cycles. I don't even want to go through one cycle. And religion is a whole other thing. We can get into religion slightly, but I don't want to get into a holy war here with you guys. Everybody believes what they believe. More power to you. Everybody's free to do as they please. I'm not going to judge anything. You know, I've been Christian most of my life, and then as I got older, I just started to question some things, and I question them, but I still believe in them. If that makes any sense. I believe that there's good and then there's evil. I agree. If there's good, there's good and there's evil. That's for sure. You cannot deny that. Hey, Juan, energy cannot be destroyed. It only changes form. A body contains one's energy. It just changes from physical to. Yep, 100%. I agree. So that's why, I'm not a fan of cemeteries and going to visit, because yes, the physical body might be there on the ground, but nothing is there. It's just material. It's just a cadaver. Where that person is, where spirits do roam, they usually roam to where they lived and where they worked or where they spent a lot of their time. So when you see them at home, it's because that's where they spent their time. And people who see this kind of stuff at work, it's because people work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and they spend a lot of their time there, and they actually enjoyed it, and that's where they go back. Hi, Victoria. Just looked at the clock. It's 11:11. Yeah, it was a few minutes ago. 11:11. 11:11 is a great number. It's got to be the greatest number on the planet. Some of you know why. But 11:11 is the best damn number. The next one is on 28th. Yeah, there's a ghost tour downtown Brownsville. I'll probably repost that link. It'd be good to do that. But Grandpa, oh man, I hope that was a good visit. I'm sure it was. That is so cool. I think it's nice to get a visit from family members or friends, like I said. Chuck, so hyped after a great day of college football. Not. Sorry to hear that. Things didn't go your way. Hey, Joe. I think most believe of what believe is from how we were raised. Yeah. But what if one is raised without any religious beliefs? Would we ask the same questions? I would hope so. Hey, Mario, I see you there. I'll be picking you up in just a second here. Um, yeah, exactly. Some people don't believe, right? And that's fine. But I think that doesn't mean uh, that these things don't exist and that they don't happen. Hi, Irma. Welcome. I've got our guest for tonight, and we'll keep talking about this a little more. Mario, how you
Hey,
doing?
nice to meet you. I'm doing good, man. Quick question. Can you hear me all right? Am
Yes,
I
perfectly,
fine?
perfectly.
Okay, cool. Because I was messing around with my audio settings and I don't know if I was, you know, like if you can hear me just fine.
Yeah, perfectly, perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I haven't had my like mic set up for a while, so I just like set it up right now.
No, that's cool. We're in contact from another page called RGV Scary Stories.
Correct, yeah.
You're just a member. You're not. Is that your page or you're just a
No,
member?
that is not my page. I'm just a member of it. And I go there once in a while, and I was actually lucky enough, excuse me, to come across your post because I'm watching. This is the first time I actually hear like of or know of your streams and your like podcasts, I guess you can say. And they're pretty interesting, pretty cool.
Yeah, this is we. I try to do one of these once in a while, and I keep getting requests to have a ghost story night or kind of paranormal talk and stuff. And it all I always plan to talk UFOs and Bigfoot and stuff, but always everything just goes back to ghosts
Right.
and spirits and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I do paranormal investigations here in the RGV. And speaking of UFOs, I actually have a few UFO stories. We'll eventually get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, whatever topic you want to start with, you can go ahead and you
Oh
know,
well, let me ask you. Okay, so you do investigations, so obviously it's safe to say that you do believe in the afterlife.
correct, yes, and I do. Growing up, ironically, actually, I grew up pretty religious. I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household. So like
Uh-huh.
anything that I do was obviously like highly like against it.
Yes.
They would always tell me ghosts like do not exist. They're not what you think. They're just demons trying to trick your mind and all of that. But after experimenting, and I say experimenting because we don't know for sure who we're really talking with.
Right.
It could be just demons, or it could be your loved ones. We really don't really know. Like we don't know. Um, but I don't know. Like it may like do like I wasn't really a heavily like religious person per se. However, but after like opening my mind to all this paranormal stuff, it really made me like expand my mind further. It made me really think like, man, like are these people like really are like were once us, like we're
Yeah.
like is this where they go to? Like do they just roam the earth freely or is there
Yeah.
a hell and stuff like
See,
that? Like
I had the same questions. I mean, I'm a total believer, but at the same time, I'm a skeptic. So
right.
when you see all these videos on TV, paranormal, caught on tape, and all this stuff, some of the things you see, lights turning on or off, or doors opening, closing, a lot of that stuff could be staged just to make a interesting video. But it doesn't mean I don't believe in it. I just don't
Right.
like to. I like to weed out any kind of fake stuff because people, the critics are always, oh, that's fake, oh, that's somebody with a string on a door or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I growing up I was always fascinated in one of those I was always fascinated in all those shows. In every episode, you hear things slamming, or or anything in general. Like when people go ghost hunting, they say like, "Oh, you know what? This place isn't haunted because nothing happened," or "I didn't see anything."
Yeah,
Well, guess what? You actually go ghost hunt. It's not like that. It's
right.
patience. It's actually rare when you actually see something physically, like, you know,
Yeah, I've heard it said before that just you can go out on 5 hunts and you might not get anything. You might see
right?
one thing, but you're not always going to capture something.
Yeah,
And that doesn't mean
exactly,
that the place is not haunted, right?
exactly.
It just
There's
means
days
for
where it's dead, no pun intended, but
yeah,
there's times where it's dead, and there's other times where it's active. Hey, Laura Sierra, that's actually my last name.
right.
Cool. Um, anyways, yeah, there's times where like active places are like not even active at all sometimes. I mean, it could really depend on the time, or you just really got to get lucky, in other words, or you just really got to know how to communicate with them. I mean,
So
you
where
know,
have you done? When was your latest? What was the last investigation you did, and where was it at?
latest was a house we did in Edinburgh, which was we went there like 2 3 times. The first time was in July, I believe. No, August. It was in August, and the last time we went was um checking the date. Okay, we're the 9th. No, okay, so we went in September. Um, yeah, that place was pretty active. It was only targeting the wife there
Mhm.
for whatever reason, and yeah, it was pretty crazy in there. We got some pretty interesting like spirit box sessions and all that. But yeah, that was my most recent one in Edinburgh.
And do you guys post that? Do you post that anywhere, or what? How do you? What do you do with that? Are you be a part of an actual group, or do you just? Is this something you just do as a hobby?
Both. It's definitely my hobby. However, I did start the group called South Texas Paranormal. I do have a YouTube channel. However, I did not upload that, or I haven't even like gotten to like actually editing to upload that video, just for whatever reason. I don't know, because I'm real picky with my investigations. Like, just because I do an investigation, that doesn't really necessarily mean I'll upload it, because I don't want my viewers to really be bored. Like, if there's nothing, I won't
Yeah.
upload it.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
so
Yeah. For real, you don't want somebody just listening to like
nothing, pretty
a
much.
minute or 2 minutes of nothing, and then okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Joe, that would freak me the hell out. He says one time in Kingsville, I played with the Ouija board. Bad boy. The lit candle started melting sideways. No freaking way. The wax didn't
that's
go down
crazy.
the candles. The wax went to the side horizontally. I kept those candles for years, but the wax eventually broke. See, that's when I was a kid, real young, my mom always said, "Don't play with the Ouija board. Don't do it because it's a real thing." And so she pretty much scared me into staying away from it. And I'm glad I listened. Have you had any people who have or done any investigations, or have you done the Ouija board?
Yeah, I have. I guess everyone has different experiences and different opinions on it. And from my personal experience is that to me, um the Ouija board is just another form of like a type of communication tool. In my personal opinion, I see it as no different as using the spirit box, because when you're using the spirit box, it's just another way for you of like opening yourself up to the spirit world. I see it no different as using Ouija board. I mean, yeah, it could be kind of debatable, but that's just the way I see
Mm.
it. Because to me, I've had no really like, it's the same experience for me.
So you said spirit box. What's a spirit box?
It's just a device that sweeps through frequencies,
Okay,
and
so it's kind of like okay, so that's like the live version of EVP
right, you can
instead
hear
of
it in real
recording
time,
it.
like actual, yeah, not like EVPs. You can actually hear it in real time, but you would want to record it, because sometimes you can't even hear some of them, because it depends on the how low they're speaking.
Right.
So yeah,
And then I hear some of them. Oh, I don't know. I guess through one of those boxes you do, because when you record EVP like on tape or something, you don't necessarily hear it. Even you could be there live with it and you won't hear it, but you'll
right,
hear it later on the playback.
yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
with that box you're talking about, you actually do hear it if
If
something
it's loud
comes up.
enough, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's loud enough, you can hear it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've gone pretty funny, messed up things on it. just regular replies. I've also heard like growls and just
Oh
really
man.
like demonic sounding things. And I've also like funny type things, I guess. There was this one investigation we did in Harlingen.
Uh,
Um, one of the spirits, and that this is how you know it's a valley spirit because they literally said, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but
you can go ahead. Say
it just
whatever you want.
it said "se la come," right? And my friend was like, my team member was like, "Dude, did it just say "te la come"?" I'm like, "Yeah, it did." I actually have that on one of my videos on my channel. It's near the end,
Oh man.
but yeah, that's not the. It actually told me twice, and I was thinking, and it was it was in Harlingen as well. It was a clinic, a haunted old clinic in Harlingen. It was a totally different location, and I heard it again, and I was thinking, is that the same fucking spirit? Like
Yeah.
telling me that? Like I guess they
Oh
really don't
man.
like me or something. I don't know.
Oh man, that's awesome. South Texas Paranormal, what's up? Yes, religion will start a war in the comments. You know, I don't know if it'll start it on this particular night. I would
Yeah,
hope
that's
not.
my channel actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would hope that.
Usually it does. Like anything
Oh
religion, some
yeah,
people like,
for sure.
yeah,
I would just think that on this kind of conversation that it may not.
right.
But who knows? Lucy, it's weird. I always hear someone calling my name. That's the one thing I get a lot, but it's not an actual. Only one time I've heard somebody like yell in my ear, "Hey!" And other than that, I hear it in my head, but I don't physically hear it.
Right.
Somebody's going,
You
"Yo,
know, I hear that. It's probably just a dream state because there's times where I hear that and I'm like falling asleep
hey!"
and I just hear, well, it's because I'm a junior. So my family calls me junior.
Yeah.
I just hear like junior real loud and I'm home alone or like back then when I was younger. But I always just, I'm pretty sure that was just always a dream state. But I don't know if you ever like hear that when you're like going to sleep.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, one time it was, I remember just kind of falling asleep watching the TV, and that's when I heard the "hey" in my ear.
Yeah.
Like there was someone was trying to keep me awake or something.
Yeah, there's
That's what I got
definitely
out of it.
I've heard a lot of those things like during investigations, like of just like breathing or actually, you know what? Speaking of that, the reason why I mean, growing up when I was little, I've always liked, paranormal things, don't
Yeah.
matter what it was. But well, actually I didn't really start the whole paranormal thing, like the group and actually going out there and actually start doing investigations was actually in April or May 2017. But what really got me into believing spirits, I was always open minded about it, but my first personal experience was I don't know if you remember, but do you remember when that girl that got murdered and stabbed in PSG North back in 2004?
I think I
In
do
Vader?
recall that.
Okay, well, I went to that same high school. Um, and I was a senior at the time. She was murdered when I was in sixth grade.
Mhm.
But so when I was a senior, I had this class that I couldn't get signal in it, right? So I had to actually walk out and go near the front of the hallway just to get a fucking bar to text.
Yeah.
And this was in between class, so everyone was inside class, and I was completely alone. And when I was like barely gonna open the door, and okay, because this was near, she got murdered near the auditorium area, and this classroom was near the auditorium, that in the back, like near the backstage of the auditorium. So as I was nearing the exit or the entrance, all I felt and heard was just a breath, like like that in the back of my neck. And then once I felt that, I just felt like electricity or static down my spine. I heard the voice of like a breath and I felt it. And I know what it was. Like, I mean, it didn't cross my mind that it was her, but I just felt something.
Yeah.
Like, and since then, that's when I pretty much like always been like a firm believer at that point, because I mean, I always was always open minded, but that was like kind of like my first experience.
Dang, yeah, that would
Yeah, I was.
freak me the hell out.
Yeah, I was 18. So
Steffi,
pretty cool.
would you ever talk to a medium to communicate with the ones who passed? There are psychic mediums on YouTube talking to Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito is the young lady who was murdered by, well, apparently, allegedly murdered by her boyfriend, and he's on the run. That's who that is. I don't know if I would do that. I'm wondering. I'm thinking that's the same thing as playing with a Ouija board or looking for an EVP that you're opening some kind of door, and there's no guarantee that only your loved one will come through and you'll talk to them. I don't know. I don't know that I would do that. Yeah, have you ever talked to? Have you had your palm read or your any of that stuff?
It's my bad. I think I disconnected for a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you're here. You're on here. Right, at least right now you're on.
Yeah, I think I froze for a bit. My internet has been kind of iffy for a bit.
Okay, now you're good right now. If you can hear me, you're good.
I can hear you, but my on my end the screen is like barely catching up, so it's like delayed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might want to just drop out and then come back in.
All right.
If you drop out, I'll bring you back in.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I'm good already.
So yeah, that's why I wouldn't talk to. I don't know. I don't think I would talk to a medium. I mean, unless there was something that I don't know, something pending that you really needed an answer to, and you're trying to get an answer for some reason.
You know what's
Maybe,
funny about that?
maybe.
Like the whole medium thing. I personally was never really a believer of that. I always thought like, how could people really actually do all that? But ironically, I actually have someone in my team that does all that. And even then, when he was on my team going to our investigations, I was still skeptical about that.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually until like really um that Edinburgh house. I mean, no, like yeah, before he would tell me things that were like spot on, but this one like truly convinced me because he automatically brought up a lot of stuff that was like so personal that like these people were strangers.
Mhm.
Like, how would he know? Like, and even stuff about the house. Like, this is our first time going, and he was like, well, first off, I'm gonna say that the dude's wife, he was like, "Did you have any miscarriages?" Like, I like you had a few, right? She's like, "Yeah, like I did." And then also we went to the backyard of the house, and he was like, "Man, I feel something really like strange in a specific spot in the back yard." And he's like, "There was like something here, like someone like, or I don't know what he said." And the dude was like, "Yeah, like actually, when we bought the property, there was actually a human limb, like a human bone or something, like in the backyard, like in the ground, and like it was actually like authorities had to come and investigate all that shit, like."
No way.
Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, how did you even know that?" Like, that's what made me, like, believe, like, at least him, like, or I guess in general, like, the whole medium thing. I was never really truly a believer, but, I mean, I guess after that, it kinda made me believe, like, people can do that. Because how would he know that?
See, the one thing that was freaking me out right now is that the connection. I don't know. This music just started becoming intermittent.
Yeah, I was actually hearing that.
Yeah, you hear it's like static came on and it just started. I don't know. It could be just a coincidence, right? But made an adjustment. See how that goes. Yes, we'll be time traveler. What's up? Yep, we got some of that coming up a little bit later. Hey, Wendy, how are you?
I'm seeing on the chat on YouTube that, there's a girl saying that she attended PSG North.
Hi, as well.
Um, speaking of PSG North, I actually have clips of that, of using the spirit box there, and I actually have a clip where, like in the spirit box, she says, "I was stabbed, and
No way.
I'm a victim." Yeah, I still
Is
have
that
it.
something you want to play? Are you able to play that?
It would have to be through my phone because I have it
Because
saved in my phone.
Or we could try it if you want.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know where my phone is at.
Oh,
Hold on. It's actually somewhere else. It's on my bed. You know what? Let me find it.
go ahead. I'll cover here a little bit. Hey, Isabel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Juan Carlos. Some people are more empathetic than others. My wife can sense other people's auras and sometimes certain objects that have a strong energy. That is so cool. As much she enjoys visiting antique stores, she becomes overwhelmed when she touches old mementos and gets strong emotional connections with them. Wow, she's very sensitive then. She's very sensitive. That's freaking awesome.
Okay. Let me look through this. Might have a lot of stuff on my phone.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I'll keep going through these comments. Catch up a little bit. We used to live at Fort Brown condominiums, and I believe there was a wandering spirit of an elderly woman carrying a rosary. See, that I would just I don't know, and that would freak me out. There's a house on 18th and Shunier. Is that up in Edinburgh? Isabel, was it that one? Oh, she's asking if that's the one up on 18th and Shunier. I guess she's asking that.
I know exactly what house she's talking about. I know exactly what house she's talking about. Me and a few of my members are actually talking about it because I've seen posts about it, and I actually kind of want to get into contact with whoever owns it because from what I can see, because there's times where I've passed by it, it looks like no one is living there. Like the
Hmm.
lights are always on, but it looks vacant. Like it looks no one is there. Like you look through the window and it's just empty, no cars, nothing.
Yeah,
I really want to get into touch with whoever owns it. I'm like, I'm gonna tell the owner, like, hey, like people talk about this specific house, right?
just go up
That
there and just go up
like
there and knock on the door, man.
it's like, are you aware that people claim that this shit is really haunted?
Just go up
uh,
there and knock on the door.
yeah, I mean, because the worst thing they can say is no, and who knows, maybe they will. Well, because the legend has allegedly, I really don't know. I've heard that people move into that house and they don't last. Like they move out for whatever reason. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean,
Yeah.
no one's ever living there. So, I
Juan
mean, who
Carlos,
knows?
the manifestation of spirits are more prevalent on anniversaries or tragic deaths and full moons. Yeah, I could dig that. No, it happens while she's at work. What? Do you, okay. Same thing happens to me all the time. Right before I fall into a deep sleep, I hear talking or a big bang, and my body jolts. Mm, that's happened before. That's weird. I don't know if it's paranormal or spiritual, whatever. But you ever notice like when you're falling asleep, sometimes you just feel like that feeling like if you're just falling,
Oh
and
yeah, I hate that.
and then you just wake up like,
Yeah,
whoa, what the
I
hell
hate
just
that.
happened?
Speaking of falling asleep, I guess I kind of got to do more things about protection because I never like really cared about that. Like I don't do prayers, I don't do sages before this and that investigations. Um, you know what? They never really affect my daily life. They don't haunt me during the day, or if I were to get followed or whatever. But the times I do feel affected is when I'm sleeping, and it happens not a lot, but occasionally. Like for instance, my most recent one was about last month. Um, I had a dream where I was just with one of my friends,
Uh,
and we were just chilling there, right? Um, and then all of a sudden, I just grabbed my friend by his shoulders, right? And I started shaking him, and I was just saying, "It's the demon, it's the demon!" Like real, like aggressively, like what the. I woke up like, what the. Why the fuck would I dream that?
yeah.
It sounds funny, but I woke up like, what the fuck? And not only that, okay, since we're on the topic of dreams, before that, I've had this dream so many times. Same dream. I've dreamt of this scenario so many times. It's me using the spirit box and coming out through the spirit box. It's the same thing. Satan, Satan,
Hmm.
Satan, over and over and over again. but each time it says Satan, it gets more aggressive, and that's it. That's literally my own that dream. Like it's literally just like
Just like that.
yeah, just real quick. But other than that, I mean, I haven't really thought I don't get affected in my daily life, which I'm glad. But I guess I could practice more safety precautions, whatever.
Victoria, there's a YouTuber called Huff Paranormal. He has his own spirit box and is very respectful to the spirits.
Yeah, the Wonder Box. Actually, I know of Paranormal. He has a pretty cool channel. I like his older videos, a lot when he used like those old Joe's boxes and all that. It's pretty cool.
Betty Rubble, my old school I worked at, I told my students to stay quiet and listen to the ghost of the school name. I'm not going to say it. Suddenly a big bang happened and scared my students. Turned out the teacher next door slammed the door. Ha ha, yeah. That's way to creep the kids out, Betty Rubble. Yeah, so many stories about that house. Yep, that's the one. Manny was freaked out. They move out quickly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the landlords handle something like that. If they know the house is haunted, or even, I don't know, maybe they don't believe.
Yeah,
I
I get.
can't
I'm
imagine they would
assuming.
give you your deposit back, or how, I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah,
Um,
these ghosts are not letting the landlord have a stable income. I
right.
guess.
So there's this story of this lady in Chicago. She passed away. Her name is her name was Mary, and this is on the south side, and there's a road, Resurrection. It's actually at Cermak, at the cemetery is Resurrection Cemetery, and she got hit by a car and she was killed in that area. Now there have been sightings. People have actually given her a ride from one end of the block to the other end of the cemetery, and they swear she's in the car. They're having a conversation, and when they stop for her to get out, the guy turns and it's just gone. She's gone. And police officers have given her a ride. So these are like legitimate stories.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe them
heard
to
of
be
that.
true anyway. And so they named her Resurrection Mary. And they say at any time you can go out there at night. At nighttime in the dark is usually when it happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of like scenarios of that, like different versions. There's like also I don't know if you've heard about it, the Lady in White and Doolittle and in
Mm,
Edinburgh and all
no.
that. And it's kind of like the same concept, but they just see her like on the side of the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I think if that happened, if I gave somebody a ride or interacted with somebody, you're talking to them, and it seems like flesh and bone, and you're just having a conversation, then to find out that, oh no, that guy died 20 years ago or
First
whatever.
of all, have you seen how sketchy Doolittle Road is? If anyone asks for any type of ride, I'm like, hell no.
I
Hell
know. I
no.
don't. Yeah, I know. I'm here in Brownsville. I have no idea of anything about Edinburgh
Right.
or that whole area up there.
Yeah, I hardly know of Brownsville as well. I
Is that
think,
a sketchy area up there?
yeah, it pretty much is. It's like the outskirts of Edinburgh. Like, who's asking for a ride out in the outskirts? Like, hell
Oh,
no.
Victoria, my grandma who passed away a few years ago said a lady with white hair came up to her and told her her mobile home, along with her other mobile home, told her they sit on cemetery ground. Oh man, yeah. See, this is a whole other thing where a lot of activity happens is on what they call sacred ground.
Yeah,
Whether it's just a cemetery, there used to be a cemetery, or where like native Indians on native ground, this stuff happens a lot.
yeah. Speaking of that, actually, in that Edinburgh house I brought up earlier, it was supposedly it was like an old cemetery or something. That
See,
supposedly the whole neighborhood is like experiencing the same shit.
see,
That's what I've heard.
see, and that makes me wonder. And the Native Americans believe when you disturb a sleeping, what they call sleeping, or means arresting people who have passed away, and you disturb by making noise or construction and digging and all that stuff, that you piss them off, and then that's when things start happening because I don't know, they're kind of, I guess you can say they're haunting you, right?
Right.
Because you disturbed someone who uh, a people that once they pass, you just leave them alone. Don't don't do not disturb. And
Yeah.
that's the other reason why I have not engaged in EVP activity, because as much as I'm a man's man and manly and all this stuff, that's the kind of thing you can't control once it starts.
Yeah.
You
It
can't
never
just say,
really bothered
okay.
me. That's one thing that really never like. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times where I definitely do get freaked out, but I enjoy doing it. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I know I would. I definitely would, but that's something in the back of my mind is like, just don't, don't do that yet. We used to rent some land out in Travis Road and hear a girl screaming for help. Oh,
I apologize for. Give me like a few seconds, real quick. Actually, when I come back, I'm gonna show the clip from PSV North. I
oh,
actually
okay.
opened up my phone. Yeah, just
Okay,
give me
well,
one
let's
moment.
hear it. Let's see. Turns out a girl was murdered from a local high school and was left for dead across the street from us. Creepy. Nadia, who here like me has experienced many close coincidences and brushes with accidents like me. It's as if by half a minute, split second, if I chose to do something, it could have been hurt or nearly dead. Yeah, those kind of things. People always say, "Well, you got a guardian angel." That's what they come out with, and that's possible. Recurring dreams of big bad dreams of the house or land. It sucks to have that on in dreams. Isabel, VT was talking about our dearly departed Jerk. Yep. And her radio started making white noise and her device started chiming uncontrolled. No, wait, is that on video? Okay. That's something I'd want to check out. Do you think it's legit? Because you know how she can be, right? Isabel, are you a fan of hers? Are you because I know sometimes when this discussion comes up, that's like a just like the religion holy wars. The same kind of thing can happen when it comes to this Vanessa. So, what is your what? Whose side are you on when it comes to all that? Hey, Lynn, welcome. Nice to see you. I believe in guardian angels. So do I. I definitely do. Definitely do. Um, I think the angels or spirits, uh, can they cause harm or fear? Yes, but I think also I can that they can help or prevent things, or you got the little voice that says, "No, don't leave yet. You got to do this." So instead of leaving at 11, you leave at 11:30. Then you find out there was some kind of huge accident or fire or whatever that
All right, I'm back.
normally
Sorry
you would
about
have
that.
been there. That normally you would have been there, but because something in your head said, "Don't leave yet," or "Don't turn this way, go that way," and then you avoided some kind of catastrophe or something. Not a fan of Vanessa. Okay, so okay, and that's fine. And I'm interested. If you got to send me a link to that, and I'll check that out. Check out this comment. I don't know if you know who Vanessa Tijerina is, but there was somebody who passed away, and she said her radio started making white noise, and her device started chiming uncontrollably, and she freaked out. And hopefully, this is caught on video because
You know what? Speaking of that, I was with a friend whose friend's dad. We were at a friend's house, and his dad had like committed suicide in that household. Actually outside in the tree. But anyways, and we were jamming out. Like we were playing beer pong and stuff like that, just to get his mind off. All that stuff. And he he had this like big speaker. It's pretty much a big speaker. Like the ones where like with the lights you could do karaoke and all that. It was just a big loudspeaker. And when we were listening to music, all of a sudden like white noise came out, and then like a voice just came through, kind of like a spirit box. Excuse me, kind of like a spirit box. Exactly. Like I guess he tapped into it somehow,
Mhm.
or something. It was, you could tell, it was not radio. First of all, it was connected through Bluetooth. Like it was not radio signal.
Yeah.
Um, since I use a spirit box, because pretty much like spirit box is like the same thing. Like any like spirit type boxes are pretty much kind of like similar to radio boxes.
Yeah.
They use like the same frequencies and all that. However, I know how they sound when something comes through. So when I heard the voice come through,
Yeah.
like I knew right away it was something, like it had to have been something or someone tapping into it, like a spirit. Like it just sounded real weird, and me and my friend just looked at each other like, you heard that, right? Like, but we don't want to say anything to, like the guy. Like,
Right.
but yeah, like that was the only time that I really like heard something like tap into like just a random speaker that wasn't the spirit box. Like,
So do you have that? Do you have that recording? Are you
Oh
able to
yeah,
play it?
yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's
Got
okay.
sidetracked.
Yeah, me too. I just lowered the volume on this thing so we can hear that.
All right, since it's on my phone, the audio on the viewer's end might sound iffy, but I just want to know if you can hear it. It's kind of like, if anything, I'll send you the actual clip, if
Okay.
anything. But I'm wondering if it's kind of fast, sort of, but I'll just let you guys hear it right now. Like, hold on. And it sounds like shit because at the time I didn't have my Sony night vision camera, whatever. I was just literally recording through my fucking phone.
Yeah.
But hopefully you guys can hear it and watch. It's like real quick. You just hear it kind of like, well, it's not fast enough where you can't hear it, but you can hear it. It says I was stabbed. Like, I don't know if you heard that. Let me go back again. I don't know if, like I'm saying,
Yeah, it says I was stabbed. Yeah, kind of
you heard
quickly
it?
he said it. Yes.
It's because I'm
Yes.
pretty sure it sounds kind of like too distorted, maybe on the mic. And
Now, have you played that for anyone that knew her?
there's a real like,
And I get it. We're getting into a disrespect kind of thing and a
yeah, there's a
respectful
real
kind of thing.
controversial thing behind that.
I get it, but I would be so freaking interested to talk to somebody who knew her and go,
Okay,
is this
since it
her
already
voice?
happened, it was long ago. I look, I didn't know any better. I just, you know what, like I said, screw it. Let me investigate this school. I'm gonna post it, thinking of zero consequence of
Yeah.
like the feedback of the family, and which I understand. Like, I was barely starting out. Like right now, I definitely wouldn't do that. Like I learned my lesson. I didn't think about it at the time. I didn't. Well, actually, no. Like the only people who kind of attacked me was just the immediate family.
Yeah.
But other than that, everyone loved the video.
And
It was
for
great
anybody
evidence.
watching, well, we'll say this too. If when we play things like this, we're not making fun of it or anything like that. It's just a fascinating phenomenon that happens.
Of course.
So we're not trying to make fun of anybody or make light of it or
Right.
anything like that at all.
I honestly, I just got like the whole excitement just got the better of me, and I didn't think of like, in a way, I guess you can say I was kind of selfish on my part, which I agree I was, but I didn't see it as really selfish because I'm not that kind of person. I just let the excitement get the better of me, and yeah, like right now, I definitely wouldn't like put anything like that up ever again. But anyways, without thinking the consequences, I uploaded it. Well, first of all, my friend took credit for it because he wanted to just take credit for it, which I'm glad he did in the end because he was the one who got shit for it. Like technically not me, not
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
because he wanted like because it blew up. Like I didn't expect for it to blow up. Like I took it down in 12 hours. Like I didn't expect for it to blow up that fast because one of my friend uploaded the link saying, "Oh, like look, check this out at PSG North." I went to sleep. Like, dude, when you upload a video, like you have like you're barely starting a YouTube channel, you're not gonna expect views at all,
So that recording was at the school.
Yeah, at the school.
Holy crap!
And I went to sleep. I woke up, and it was shared all across Facebook and on YouTube. In under 12 hours, I had over, like, for a new YouTube channel standards, like in under 12 hours, 30,000 views, and
Holy,
especially just for the valley, like
yeah.
30,000 like shares, like. And I had a lot of good feedback on it, but of course, the only ones that were attacking me were the well, technically not me because my friend took credit for it,
But
but
yeah, but
it
you
was
guys,
my channel, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah. See, that's something that I probably would have want to talk to the family first and say, look,
right,
I
and
want to play this.
that's
I
where
need
I
your,
learned that's what I learned because, like I said, I was new to all that, and yeah, like even though I was new to it, I could have probably thought better, but I just really didn't think about it. Like I just, you know what, let me just go film and just upload it. Screw it. I just, like I didn't think of it at all. And
yeah, because you could. I mean, you could be kind of a jerk and say, well, I don't need your permission, right? But I'd like your blessing on it, and it's not that I'm
right.
making fun of her, but you can hear her voice, and she might say something that might clear something up or explain something.
Yeah.
It's. But I get it. I get it. Fausto says, I used to live in front of a resaca growing up. One night, my uncle was dropping me off. His lights were facing the resaca. We saw a lady in white walking down into the water. He shut off his lights and turned them back on. She was gone. See, nope. Yeah, that's. See, that's the kind of thing I hear a lot of that, and it's. I mean,
I wonder why it's always like those lady in white type of ordeals. Like, why is it always just like a lady in white usually? Like, I wonder what the whole concept of that is.
because they say now. When I say they say, anytime you talk to these or listen to these discussions, paranormal and even religious people, they say that you see some when you do see them, they always appear to you when they were at their optimum youthful age.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be somebody in their 20s, or
Right.
that usually that
Makes sense.
happens. And you don't see them if they had an amputation or if they had a scar. You don't see any of
Right.
that. You just see them like
In their prime, pretty much.
kind of like in their prime. So yeah, that's I don't know why does that. I don't
That's
know.
I've always wondered that. Yeah.
When you think about it back then, I want to say back then, if you're talking South Texas, many moons ago, um, white was something people wore because it's so hot down here.
That's very true.
And white gowns, or the men wear white pants. I'm not saying like dressy pants, but white
Yeah.
tops, because it was always hot, so it was very customary. It was very common to see people
And
wearing white.
see, it wasn't very common like in the old days here. So
Time
just imagine how
traveler,
hot it was.
right? I once went to that cemetery by Valley Regional. Oh yeah, well okay, which in Brownsville?
Where is Valley Regional?
Well, we got a Valley Regional in Brownsville and a Valley Regional in Harlingen. I don't think there's one cemetery by the one in Harlingen, so I'm going to assume in Brownsville, just on Alton Glore, just off the expressway. And I think right across the street, around the corner, there's a cemetery, right? Or somewhere across the street, almost directly across the street from the hospital, there's a cemetery. I parked my car and started to hear a moan. I tried to start my car, but it didn't work. Fog approached. Oh, man. Fog approached, and I was able to make it out. Scary experience. Holy crap. See, especially when you're not expecting fog, like the fog just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I've heard moans, dude, in my investigations a few times at the Salmon Hotel and then at the clinic. It was really weird
The
because
San
at
Juan
first,
Hotel.
yeah, in San Juan.
Is that what is the status of that? Did they ever start to fix it up or do anything with it?
No, it's run down to shit.
Because I
It's
knew the gentleman who purchased it. His group. He's an attorney.
yeah, he purchased it for like what, 2 million or something? It's
Yeah, something like
crazy.
that. And they were gonna bring it back up to life, and
But the
but
city didn't let him, I think. That's what
yes,
I've
there
heard.
was some complication and disappointing. That would have been pretty neat.
I mean, if you kind of, I mean, it's really run down bad. Like by the looks of it, if you really want to restore it, you literally had to just like tear it down and just like
Yeah, because
because
that's like in ruins. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw this was back in 2004, and even then it was run down. It was already. I'm like, they
Like, did
gotta
you go
knock this thing.
inside?
Oh no, I just drove by, and it was
You should see inside. Like, it's like literally like a lost cause, honestly. Especially now that more people go in and really mess things up. Like,
mm.
it's kind of a lost cause, honestly. Like, man, it's just best to leave it like the way it is, I guess, unless they really want to. I don't know. I guess
I
maybe.
understand the concept of it, trying to revive an old at one time. Maybe it was a cool hotel at the time or something, and then to bring it back. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta leave it, just let it go. Or I wonder what happened with that. You know what? I want to play an EVP before we keep going on the comments here.
Go for
This
it.
is, I'm sure you were aware of who Art Bell was.
Yeah, Art Bell. Yeah.
Yeah, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he used to have a
No
paranormal.
way.
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh wow.
I won't say finally, but he passed away. He had some health issues, and he passed away. But every night, he had a show called Coast to Coast AM, and
Yeah.
it would play from, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. In some places, 11 o'clock at night, up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and just all kind of UFO talk, aliens,
Yeah.
ghost stories, EVPs,
Yeah, I
Bigfoot.
listened to him on the Paranormal Radio app actually.
Yeah, so
I don't
do
know if
I.
you
I still listen to it, all the old recordings.
Yeah, Clyde
So,
Lewis and them.
yep,
Clyde Lewis,
yep,
Ground Zero.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So this is an EVP. Which one is this one I want to play? I think it's a boy. It sounds like a young kid, and I think they're gonna set her up. They're gonna set her up a little bit right here. So let me just play it.
Are you playing it already?
Yeah, you hear it or no?
I don't hear anything. That's why I was like, I do
You
not
guys hear
hear.
anything at all? You don't hear that?
I just hear you, not your desktop
Oh, you just
audio.
hear it. Okay, so you got. All right, hold on. Let me try this again.
I mean, I don't know if it's an issue on my end or if your viewers hear it. I'm assuming if I can hear it, they can't either.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Can't hear anything. Okay, they're saying so they didn't hear it either. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Well, while I'm setting this up, tell us about I don't know, some scary experience you've had at one of your investigations.
Well, since we're bringing up EVPs, there's an option to share the screen, right?
Yep.
On this?
Yep.
Okay, I'll probably do it after the one you're trying to do. Speaking of EVPs, actually there at the Salmon Hotel, I have like a crystal clear like little girl singing in the background. Like
Oh,
like loud like like it I had my audio recorder, but I didn't even have to like upload it from there. Like my camera mic caught it. Like that's how loud it was, and other people heard it too. Like because other random people were there trying to check out the Salmon Hotel, but it was just like us little group, and it sounded like it came from the downstairs. I'll show it right now once you're like done showing whatever you have to show.
okay, I think we got it here. I think I got it. This is the one. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna try this again, guys. Here we go. If you can hear it, just give me a thumbs up, all right, on your end.
Right. We're trying to find out what's
what's
there.
the nature of
Yeah,
it.
I hear it.
Of course.
So, can you describe what it's like where you're at? And then this child says, I saw something move. There might be monsters over there, which is sad.
Can you describe what it's like where you're at?
And to play it again.
Was that it? The child, or sound like
Yeah.
a child?
Yeah, that's a child. There might be
Man,
monsters.
it sounds like
The child
an
apparently.
actual child is there.
The first part where the child says, "I saw something move," that's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, it's a little tough. That part is. I mean, that's again. This goes back to what we said.
But that second part, that little boy says there might be
between
monsters
everybody
over
that
there.
listens to this, 100
Yeah,
times.
it's pretty
and says,
insane.
Okay, that's
Yeah, so that's just one. I got a few more, but yeah, go ahead if you want to upload or add it. Definitely do it.
Okay, just click the share right here.
Yeah.
Share screen. Okay, cool.
And if you're gonna click like a tab or something, make sure you check box the audio. There's like an audio checkbox on the bottom left on that window that pops up.
Share screen. Screen 1. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, share
Okay,
system
good.
audio. Okay, I was actually checking out your stream before I joined. Let's see here. Oh, it was right here. Let's see if you guys can hear this. Is that pretty loud or is that pretty good? Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's real faint. It's not added to the stream yet. Are you able to add it, or you needing me to add it?
I click the box.
Hover over the window at the bottom, and it'll say "Add to Stream." If you hover over it, if not, then I can add it.
Yeah, just go ahead and add it just to make things easier.
Cool.
Okay, did you get it or?
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what we're seeing there.
Oh, okay.
Pretty freaky. There it is.
Okay, let me.
Actually, when I heard the scream,
can you hear that?
Yeah, perfectly. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Actually, when I heard the scream, it. Oh yeah, right. That too, man. That too.
Well, ask it out here. Maybe it's like.
Okay. Well, everyone has to be really.
This is like in 2018.
You can tell me anything you want. It's fine. I don't come here to disrespect you.
I'm not sure if you heard that.
Kind of sounds like somebody singing.
Yeah, it's someone singing.
Play it again.
Yeah. Let me play it again.
Whoa. What was that?
Did you hear that?
Like la 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 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you could definitely hear that. Ooh, man. See, that's. Oh, yeah. That's. I don't know, when you hear stuff like that. I know that there's some people. We did one of these shows a while back, and we had people had to leave. Like, yeah, I can't watch this. Like, I can't hear any of this.
Really?
And, yeah, because it freaks them out, and then they can't sleep.
It really doesn't bother me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. I enjoy doing it. Like,
Nadia, I was driving on the expressway and I heard a little girl's voice in the backseat of my. I heard that one time. I heard a little kid's voice. Same thing. I was in the car. I was alone in the car, and I heard a little kid, and I thought somebody was in the freaking car. That's weird. About 2 weeks later, I took a pregnancy test. I tested positive. Could have been my Victoria speaking to me. Oh, interesting.
that is.
Manny, you heard say, yeah, when the recording you played, I was stabbed. I couldn't make it out. If so, was this person stabbed? So she was stabbed? Is that what the story is? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Okay. The reason why you couldn't hear it that well is because obviously I'm playing it through the mic. On the viewers end,
but we could hear it. We actually could hear it.
Yeah, on the viewers end, they might not hear it that clear, but it definitely does say that. And yes, the girl was stabbed. She passed away there. She said I was stabbed, and then after that, she said I was a victim, or I'm a victim. That's what she said. I'm just saying that's what came out to the spirit box. Like we kind of mentioned in the beginning, we really don't know if that's really her that's coming through. Like, I mean, who really knows? I can't really for sure say that it was her coming through, but if you kind of
I
think
mean,
about it, like who
like
could it be?
who
Or,
else stabbed at the female voice that
yeah,
happened there? You know, that'd be a freaking coincidence and a half. Not saying that it couldn't have happened. You know, maybe
right.
something from many decades ago or many, hundreds of years ago or something. That's possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's why if you can find somebody who knew her, even friends or something, they could identify the voice. That would be huge.
Yeah, but at that point, I kind of don't want to.
I know
You
it's a
know,
touchy thing, man, but if you could kind of say, you know what, I'm not. Again, I don't want to do it. I'm not trying to disrespect, but I just want to know if it's her. Do you think this is her?
yeah. I've always wondered the same, but I mean, I just rather not even. It came so bad. Like, um, people always ask me, and still to this day, like, not like I made that video in 2017. There's times where my friends that never gone ghost hunting, they know that I do paranormal, so they hit me up saying, "Hey, I've never done this. Let's go, like, film. Let's go to San Juan Hotel, because San Juan Hotel is like the easiest place just to go to. It's just there. You can just go there." So I say, "Okay, screw it," and then we end up running into people that trying to do the same thing, and they literally like, "Hey, like, you're the guy that did that PSG North video and this and that." And, like, they actually like recognize me and this and that, and they tell me like, "How come did you delete that? Why did you delete that video?" I don't even like have no comment on that. Like, I just deleted it. Like, it came to the point where I didn't even save it personally. I deleted it completely. I had nothing. I didn't want anything to do with that video anymore at that point. Like, I was done with it. Like, after all, like, the hate, and well, I didn't get that much hate, but like I said, just the hate from the
That's
family. Like,
yeah,
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 like I want
and that,
nothing to do with it.
and that's harsh when it comes from a
Right.
family. That's harsh,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's I mean justifiable, right? But again, you didn't mean to you didn't mean disrespect by it.
Right.
And that's something that you could say to any critic. Say, hey, you know what? Family requested, I don't. So that's what happened. So going back to the Hotel San Juan, is that something you need permission for if you want to walk in there and do stuff, or how does that work?
Technically, you do, but it's like, dude, no one even cares anymore at this point. Like, everyone just goes, dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, no, like, no one cares. No.
Mel, hi Mel. Melida, some women who were never married were buried in white. Ah, see, that's a whole other angle to that woman in white stories. That's interesting. Wendy, Brownsville City Cemetery said to have paranormal activity. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to make it out there, and I don't know. To me, spirits, if you're going to see or hear anything, I think for the most part, like I said, you will experience them where they lived or where they worked or where they spent their time. I don't think there was a lot of time spending in cemeteries unless it was something else before it was a cemetery, but
Yeah.
but there is this. I've got an EVP recording of a baby. They left a recorder on top of a tomb of a child, of a little infant that had passed away, and they left it there. And they went away. They came back. I forgot. They said hours later, and they've got a recording of a child, of a baby crying, laughing. We'll play that in a bit too. Time Traveler. Art Bell was a legend. Loved his Ghost to Go shows. Yeah, Art Bell. Oof, that was sad to hear of him passing away. And I wrote on one of the public walls that was made for him, and my comment was something like, "Well, I hope you find the answers to all the questions that you had, for the last 25 years or whatever." And I know he's enjoying it up there. Can it?
Yeah.
Yep, we got that fixed. Let me repeat. It's no, can't hear any of that. Okay. Hi, Christina. Yeah, it's creepy. It's scary and creepy. Scary and creepy. Back, Foo, what up? Back in Victorian times, women sewed their own wedding dresses to double as their burial shroud. No way.
Nice.
That's
Did
not
not
creepy.
know that.
It's not creepy at all,
That's definitely not creepy at all.
right?
You know,
It's the 10830.
totally normal. Totally normal.
Okay, got another EVP for you here. And let me see if I can get this one going here. And if you got something to share too, you can let me know. And if you got something to share too, also let me know so we can get that ready as well.
Oh yeah. Actually, I would have to go through the videos and all that on my channel.
Let's see, where is this one? Let's not do this one.
Do you have anything to show right now?
Yeah, I'm setting one up right now. Sorry, it's taking me a second here. All right, here we go. All right, check this one out too.
Microphones or
you can hear that, right?
Recorders,
yeah, I can hear it.
Digital recorders of various types, and then we'll leave the building. So there's no contamination, not even our footsteps can be heard. And in this track, you're going to hear a woman she sounds like she's got an accent. It's possibly a Hispanic accent. Just out of nowhere. Again, there's no context to this, Art. There's nobody.
Real quick, I heard this a bunch of times. I don't hear an accent at all. I don't know where he got that from. Maybe he picked it up from, I don't know, something. But I definitely did not hear any accent. Here we go.
Talking, no one is asking a question. It's just, a lot of silence. And then all of a sudden you'll hear a female voice say, "Put that thing in his eyes," which is kind of ominous sounding. Yeah, let's take a listen.
Yeah, all right. Here we go. Number 4.
Wow, clear.
Yeah, I don't hear an accent at all. I just hear a regular
American accent.
Yeah, there was just silence. There was no.
That's very concerning. Yeah, that's very concerning. That's very clear. I'm not sure I hear an accent. It's quite clear.
Really? So you don't hear any accent at all?
I don't. Maybe somebody else does. We're about to do it again so people can listen. But this one has no context. It just showed up on the recorder, and it's awfully clear. Listen again.
That's clear.
That's pretty freaking clear.
That is really clear.
And there was another one that he had where there was an EVP came up and said something about plastic eyes, and this was at a where they would embalm body, a funeral home, and the EVP said something about plastic eyes. So they asked the funeral guy, the embalmer, like, "What plastic eyes? Would that make any sense?" And he said, "Oh yeah, we put plastic eyes in the bodies, before they go on they get buried or on display." It's like, whoa, that's creepy.
Yeah. Actually, I have one clip to show you. It's a spirit box reply. And one of my it was my very, very, very first house investigation I did in San Benito. It was the story goes that one of the woman's family members practiced witchcraft in that house.
No.
And we got really pretty interesting things there. But let me show you are you gonna have to fix my audio and stuff again, possibly?
Okay. I don't know about the audio, but let's
see here.
While you're setting that up, Lucy's got many stories. Oh man, and I want to hear them too. Christina, there's bad energy attached to you when you go to a haunted. That can happen. It has happened. I've read about it and heard about it. And even on these TV paranormal shows, if you watch them, sometimes they've had occasions where they've been at a investigation and the thing follows them home. That's happened a lot.
Speaking of that, that never truly really at least that I know of, never really happened with me. The only time that did happen with me was actually that PSG North investigation I did that same night when I went home. After we wrapped it up, went home, was going to bed, I was actually barely falling asleep, and in the restroom, we've had this picture frame type thing that's just been hanging there for years, secured years. And it just so happened that night, it just sounded like it crashed on the floor, woke everyone up, like. But it just sounded like someone, like, it didn't just fall, like it sounded like someone just like literally slammed it like with force. And you know, and then the next day I didn't think anything of it. I was thinking that might have just been a coincidence.
Yeah.
And then the next day when I got home that same night when I did the investigation, I left my equipment out just there. I just went to bed. The next day I was, you know what, like, let me put away my stuff already. And I was like, you know what, before I put it away, I actually took out my spirit box and I asked a question. I actually turned it on my house. And I was like, was that a spirit that did that last night? That like made that thing fall? What, in the picture frame, whatever.
Yeah.
And right away, like a millisecond after I asked that, you just hear through the spirit box saying yeah, it was me. Like,
man.
Quick, like loud, like, yeah. And then all I said was like, well, you know, I'm not scared of you. You have no power over me. That's literally all I said. And then after that, like, I'm not saying that made it go away, but I didn't experience anything after that, after all. Well, at least to my knowledge. I probably just didn't even pay attention to anything if anything happened, but
yeah, a lot of these guys who do investigations, they do a prayer before they start, they do a prayer afterwards.
Yeah, I never do that.
Yeah. Try it from now on because you don't want anything following you home. What clip do you got? What's on that clip?
Oh yeah. Let me share it here real quick. Okay, let me see if you could even get the audio this time. Just let me go to my, where is it at? Oh yeah, right here.
What's available? So are these demons or ghosts in your opinion? They could be both. I mean, it could be some demons or some spirits are more aggressive. Some are demons are actually not human-like, but they're more partly animal-like. And you know, it's been said that there have been demons seen, and they actually appear like some kind of weird ram's head or something like that, and like a monster, real like what you would the traditional monster that you'd see on TV or in a movie or something.
Okay, so can you hear that? Do you even see, or like when I'm sharing, or can you hear it?
Yep, got it.
Okay. Well, this is before when I had a better camera, so the audio, I'm not sure if it'll be loud enough or clear enough. But yeah, this was like a weird, like, spirit box reply I had gotten, like, back. I'm gonna use my PSP7. The little boy running around. Okay, it's after this little thing. And then it's the second voice right now. Did you hear that? I wasn't even freaked out. I wasn't even freaked out by my reaction. I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
That was weird.
Are you spirit boxing or what? Spirit boxing. Let me fast forward it.
Did you feel that? Hear that? Like do. I think it came from that. Was that the little boy running around?
What? I'm not sure if you heard that clear enough.
Couldn't make out what it said, but he could definitely hear something. It was a deep voice came out.
Yeah, I still to this day I can't even like decipher like what it said. Like, it was like, I had other people tell me like that it was like speaking Latin, or, you know, because that's like the language of like demons or whatever the hell. But I don't know.
I guess that is possible. Here, check this one out. This is again from the Art Bell recordings.
I was ready for smoke. Yeah. Like, I'm done. Where's my Dunkin' Donuts?
Let's play it. This is done in the private home you just heard about. Listen carefully. What you're going to hear is "Hate You." Is that correct, guys?
Hate you.
Oh, okay, here it comes.
Okay, so I remember this one now. It was a very throaty.
Yeah, you know,
him
that's
saying
like,
"hate you."
that's, you know, definitely not creepy at all.
You don't find this creepy at all?
No, I'm being sarcastic. Like,
Oh,
that's definitely
yeah,
not
no.
creepy at all.
He's gonna play it a few times. Check this out. I mean, he really drew that out.
Yeah, that was like really like.
One more time.
Oh, that is weird. My God, that's weird.
Yeah, it's like really scary.
I do.
Can you imagine you're in your house watching TV and you hear that somebody whisper that in your ear? That's not somebody you want to.
But that's like that sounds real loud though. But I wouldn't doubt that you weren't able to hear that like in real time, because there's times where I reviewed my videos and I hear something like crystal clear and I was like, I didn't even hear that, you know.
But I mean, that's why they have to, these investigators say they'll go to a place, do an investigation. They'll be there for 8 or 10 hours, and now they have to go home or the next day and listen to 8 or 10 hours of audio. And they say sometimes they'll get nothing.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you get stuff, and they were there and they don't hear this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you believe they are from this dimension, or are they just crossing dimensions? Nah, they're from this dimension. They're just wandering spirits, lost souls, as you would. And I've heard this numerous times, and I said this before on a previous show. If you do encounter something, you can tell them, go to the light. Go to the light. And apparently that's what they need to be told. Go to the light. And then a lot of times the disturbances, if you want to call them, they end. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that said many times.
Speaking of that, I kind of wish I still had my old hard drive. It's lost footage that I will never see again. But there was this, I have this friend, Isabella. She had this condo in McAllen it was in a building complex of condos called the Fairway on Wichita in McAllen. And there was this girl, well, she was older. This older lady, Judy White, she passed away inside that condo.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because she left everything behind. Like, well, first of all, they found her, like, they're just dead. Like, they didn't even know she died. The only reason why they knew is because the neighbors complained of the smell, and it was literally her body fluids were already leaking towards the entrance of the doorway and all that. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so, like my friend, she knew, like, the history of it, and that someone passed away there and all that. So she called me telling me, like, hey, like, come check out this place because I experienced a lot of stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. I didn't think anything of it. Like, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as she thought it was. But when we got there, like, I didn't even start the investigation. Like, I just turned on the camera and we were just talking for a little bit, and then I was like, all right, well, I guess we're ready to start the investigation. Hopefully she's ready to talk. And I didn't even know she had replied to me when I said that, because we did the whole, like, investigation for the night. But that's when I barely just turned on the camera, pressed record, and then said, well, hopefully she's ready to talk. But and I was reviewing that, like, right when I said that, all you hear was like, no, I'm not, like, crystal clear. I'm like, I didn't even ask, like, what the hell? Like, I wasn't even ready. Like,
right?
She just already started. And the reason why I brought this up is because of speaking of, like, say that they're going into the light and all that. My friend was actually saying that she was like the lady that passed away there, her name was Judy. She was like, Judy White, like, if you're here, like, just try to cross over and this and that, And when we were reviewing all that audio, we heard a voice saying like, "I'm trying," and then a second voice, like a male's voice, saying, "Turn around" or like "Turn back." Like in other words, like forcing her to like not cross over or
Right.
something. Like
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I even to this day, like I really wish I had that. Like I think that was like my top like really good like evidence or just like replies that I wish like I still had. I really like it was already like 2 years ago, dude, and I still think about it to this day. Like, man, I really wish I still had it. It was some good footage, and I definitely would have uploaded, but I just never got the chance. And that,
Oh man, yeah, too bad you don't have that stuff. Lynn says, did that recording say freaking boy? You know what? I thought I heard a word with the letter F in it, possibly. You know, maybe when the video's over, you can go back and review this stuff. I could have swore it said something. I couldn't make out. I don't mean a bad word necessarily, but there was a word I could swear it had the letter. It started with the letter F.
man, at this point, it's literally what you want to hear, because I can't even know. I have no idea what it might even say.
And with some of these, and that's why the people who recorded these EVPs that I'm playing, they don't like to tell you, okay, you're going to hear this, because they don't want to put that in your head.
Yeah.
A lot of times they would just say, okay, well, just listen to it and then we'll discuss it afterwards, because there's the power of suggestion, right?
Right.
Where you keep saying, oh, he said this and he kept repeating this, and we asked him and he said this, so now you've got that in your head and you're going to hear that.
Head. So your brain's trying to hear that.
You're trying to rationalize. Your brain's trying to rationalize and go, oh yeah, that's what he said. But sometimes other people go, no, that's not what he said. I heard this. So, question from Christina. I'm sure it's to you. Aren't you opening the door to evil spirits? Do you think you're opening the door to evil spirits? And have you ever been like scared? Did just something make you stop in your tracks and go, hey, maybe I got to walk backwards and get out of here?
For one, yeah, I know I'm definitely opening myself up to spirits, good or bad. I definitely know that for sure. Have I ever been scared? I'm not gonna be here and say, you know what, I'm this big macho guy. Yeah, there's times where I definitely have been scared. Like, I trust me, I have, but I still do it. I still just say, you know what, I'm gonna stay here. Like, there's times where like I've felt physically like ill, like pains in my back and stuff like that. Like, but I just still pull through it. Even like I get bad anxiety sometimes in some of these investigations, but I just do it because I just enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, I guess I do gotta take precaution more of like, I guess, protection,
spiritual protection,
right?
Yeah, I remember there was one of the early episodes of Ghost Adventures. You know, Zach Bagans.
Right.
And they got spooked and they went running down the hall, running away from it like little girls, like little kids.
Oh, their 2004 documentary.
And I remember Zach yelling at him, stop running. And he said, stop running.
That brick flying one?
Yeah. They all took off running and Zach got real angry, telling him, don't run, stop running.
Yeah, but he was the one screaming like crazy. Like,
and then ever since then, it seems like, you know, I've watched the show forever since then, and I don't think I've ever saw them ever run again. You know, there were times when guys wanted to get out. They're like, no, you know what? Get me out of here. I don't want to be anywhere.
Yeah, there's times where I've had people in my group that just couldn't do it anymore, and they had to like just step out. And I don't think I've ever had to step out in any of the investigations.
Yeah.
I don't ever recall. I mean, believe me, like I said, I'm not trying to say like, you know what, like I don't care. I'm like, you know, bring it on. Like that. Trust me, I've felt like shit. Like,
yeah,
I've definitely felt like their energy affecting me for sure. But I just try to like I'm there for a reason. I'm not there to like. I'm trying to like, you know, gather like as much evidence as I can. Or,
and that is one of the symptoms they say. You know, a lot of times you feel physically sick, and there are some people who are very sensitive who can actually Like if somebody was murdered or stabbed in the stomach or something, they will get pains in their stomach, like in certain areas, and they come to find out that that person died because they were stabbed in the stomach or in the back or they had a head wound. That's why you walk in there and you got a headache. So that's happened a lot too. A nurse really saw a little girl in one of our rooms. Something about seeing little kids that when you find out later that they're dead, that they're just a spirit, that would freak me out. And I don't know how they would handle that.
Speaking of that, I in that San Benito house, because we were using an infrared like camera type thing, and I actually didn't even notice it. There was actually a viewer in my comment section saying, "Hey, did you see this? Like in this certain timestamp?" Excuse me, and I was like, what? And I go to it when I use a flash in my camera. No, yeah, when we take a picture with the infrared thing, you can see in the screen that the infrared caught like this little kid figure. And then after we caught that little kid figure, you hear through the spirit box saying, like, hello, like a little kid voice.
No.
Yeah, like I would play it. I could play it, but I don't think you're gonna like. I'd have to like. It's really quick when you see the figure. Like it's really quick. Like it's easy to miss. I have to pause it at the right time or slow it down, and you can see when I do it flashes. You can see like a little kid figure. I could try it, but well, YouTube does have a feature where I can slow it down, so maybe you guys can.
Yeah, that's true. That would be interesting. Victoria, yes, definitely send the clips. We definitely want to check those out. Lynn says, "Oh my gosh, my hubby left me to go to bed while I'm watching, and the very first EVP voice of the boy's presence came on, and I heard noises across from me, and I look up and I see this huge dude in white, and it was my husband standing there. Oh man,
huge dude in white,
scared the crap out of you. I had the earpods, so I didn't hear him laughing out. Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah, I bet that he probably threw a shoe at him or something." I thought about auditioning for a haunted house this Halloween, especially the one in downtown McAllen. There was a story. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know. I mean, you may not be old enough. HBO had a documentary series. It was called Autopsy. And they would do various stories, with Dr. Michael Baden. He's a famous forensic pathologist. And they would do a case and they would talk about it, how he died, what happened, and the autopsy. And one of the stories was one of these, it was a carnival, and they had one of those haunted, like a room with mirrors and everything, and it's kind of like a mini haunted house. And there was a dead guy in the corner with a cowboy. He had a cowboy hat, cowboy clothes on, that kind of thing. And obviously everybody thought he was a dummy. But as it turned out, it was a freaking mummy, a guy that died back in the 1800s, and I don't know how, but he was there in the corner of the set, and they thought he was a prop. They thought he was just made out of foam or plastic or something. And he was a real mummy from back from the 1800s. That I don't know how he got there, but that freaked me out too. Christina, yikes! I'm home alone right now, so I'm getting off. You guys have a good night. Good night. Thought about Ghost Adventures, a TV show. I don't know. I think it's legit. Obviously, I don't know them personally. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but they haven't given me any reason to believe that they're not a real operation. I know that one I enjoyed. I also enjoyed Ghost Hunters. The one with the plumber, the guys that were plumbers by night, by day. Yeah, they worked for Roto-Rooter. And then at night they would do these investigations. I believe them. I don't think that they're fake or anything like that. I mean, do you get that impression at all, or what do you think about them?
I really don't, honestly. I mean, I feel that the Ghost Hunters is pretty cool. I always enjoyed. I mean, the first time I saw them, I was pretty young, honestly. Because I was what, the early 2000s, I think, on Sci-Fi or something like that.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah, I was young, dude. I'm only 28, so like when they were starting off, I was pretty young, but I remember I would see them, and I always liked them, and I still to this day I think they're pretty good.
I got one more EVP I want to play. See if I can set this up here. This one is really creepy. Lower this a little bit. This one is extra special creepy. Let me get some of these comments out of the way here. I don't lie. Oh, I believe you, Lucy. I'm not saying you're lying at all. I freaking believe you. In fact, sometimes, I wish I knew personally people who work at hospitals, nurses or whatever at night. Because I'd love to be able to go to get permission and just kind of walk the halls and take pictures. Or I thought about that might be a place to get good EVPs. That autopsy narrator voice is creepy if I'm thinking it's the same show. I don't know. This one was in the 90s. You're just a kid. Yeah. Right? Okay. Listen to this little whole section here.
I mean, he didn't tell us about it for a day or two.
Can you hear that?
He heard it because it was recording his computer from the condensed mic.
All right, so I'm not going to hear any of your voices at all. Everything I hear
should not be there.
Should not be there.
The water sound. This building had no running water.
No plumbing.
Had no plumbing on, no water on for years.
All right.
All right, check this out,
All
guys.
right,
Really listen to this one.
Here it comes. Listen closely at your own peril.
You're going to hear water splashing in a minute. So what was thought was being said was help me or something.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going to stop it.
Yeah, and that's basically just the voices.
Yeah, am I hearing correctly? When the voice comes in, is the voice saying help me?
The child, the voice that sounds like a child.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like he's saying, help me, can't breathe, couldn't breathe.
All right. See, that I...
Okay, and then you hear the water splashing. So a later recording of this, I guess they investigated into that building, and they said there was no pool there in that building, at least in modern times, at all, ever. And so who knows where those sounds could have... I don't know, maybe in a previous generation that before that building was there, maybe there was a pool or something, or it was a tub. Could have been a tub too, right? Doesn't this stuff creep you out sometimes? Like, can you hear this stuff? Can you listen and watch all this stuff and then just be home alone and watch in the dark without lights on watching a movie? This doesn't bother you at all?
It's funny that you say that. People get weirded out because I like to chill in the dark, but not because I'm just a weird, but honestly, like, the light bothers me. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
Like, I just like to, not that I just like to chill in the dark, like just sitting there like weird, but like I just always have the lights off no matter what. Like I just don't like the light that much. Because like I don't know why, but like light bulbs and stuff like that, like generally like give me headaches. So that's why I just have them off all the time.
No, so you're okay in the dark.
Yeah, I'm definitely fine in the dark.
Here, check out this one. Those of you who are parents who've had little babies, maybe you can explain: is this little baby crying, or is he laughing, or something in between? Here, I'll just play it. Tell me what you think.
All right.
Put her down and walked away. You'll hear wind blowing. Now there was some.
Okay, this is the one where they placed the recorder at the cemetery on the tomb of a little baby who had passed away. That's where they set the recorder, right?
Yeah.
And this was outdoors, so you do hear wind and stuff like that. And apparently it was sometime overnight in the middle of the night.
Arguing within the GIS, Barbara, Brendan, myself, because some of us say that the baby's laughing, others of us say the baby is crying. It's really subjective, and I'm interested to see what you think about this.
Well, there's a lot of mothers out there. They should know. Here it comes. Holy moly!
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Is that a laugh, or is that a cry, or is that just?
That's
that could.
It can definitely be misinterpreted as both. Honestly,
right? It's not necessarily crying, right?
Yeah, it's easy to mistake for either or. It sounds like a crying, but at the same time, it does sound like a laugh too. Like,
yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like the kid's being tortured or anything like that.
Yeah,
at least it does not sound like that. Here, let's they're gonna play
like
it again.
A 3-month-old baby.
Yeah, it's young. I mean, you can tell just from the tonnage. I mean, it's a young child.
And you sure can hear the wind. Here it comes once more. Listen very carefully, folks. You tell me, all you moms out there, you tell me, what is this? I'm reminding you, I warned you at the beginning of this program. I warned you.
It almost seems like maybe the kid's in a crib, and an adult is on top, kind of tickling him, maybe, right?
Yeah, that's pretty weird. It's really hard to tell what it is, honestly. It just sounds like both, honestly.
Hey, Victor. Oh, you missed it. It's been an interesting.
Hey, Digital Dim would actually know of his channel.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a good guy right there. Lynn says it's a newborn, kind of fussing in the early days, right? Not necessarily crying, not necessarily laughing, maybe bothered, maybe, or something, But that's, it's sad. That means that baby died, didn't make it. And that's the sad part, you hate to hear young people and
it's babies. A newborn kind of fussing in the early days. Well, I've never had a kid, so I personally don't know of how kids sound like.
Yeah, only those people who've actually had the experience of having a baby and
right
would know, and our mom would definitely know. That'd be the best source. So yeah, all this stuff interesting. UFOs. I know we were going to touch a little bit on that. Do you subscribe to? There's one channel. It's an app. It's called Gaia. Have you heard of it?
Gaia.
GAIA.
I guess not.
Yeah. There's one thing on there. I'll talk about that too. And then there's a documentary called Unacknowledged, which is a must watch. It's a legit documentary about Dr. Stephen Greer. He's trying to get the government to just put all this stuff out there, let the public see all the files and all the photos and all the information that they have. They get called the Disclosure Project. And it's fascinating. in this channel, Gaia. If you guys want to watch it, sign up for the app. If you get like a week for free, and if you don't want to pay for it beyond that, that's cool. Watch. There's a couple of videos to watch, and one of them, a guy puts up. I don't know. Back in the '90s, you can buy a Sony, camcorder, and a lot of them they came with night vision, and I think some of the cameras still do right now.
Yeah,
but you flip a switch and then the screen turns green, right? And you can, with night vision, you point that sucker up into the sky. You can catch so many things going on up there that the naked eye cannot. And they put 2 cameras up, one with, one without, pointing up they're on a pole. And in one, you can see a thing flying around, and with the other camera, you can't see diddly.
Yeah, you need the light lens as well.
Yeah. And so many things. There's things called what are they called now? I can't think of it. But they're called rods. And there's little things. I don't know how long they are, 3 or 4 feet, sometimes more, sometimes less, and they're just flying around. And it really seems like these things are living creatures, even the UFOs sometimes.
Speaking of UFOs, like, have you had your own personal experience? What you thought was a UFO?
When I was a kid, I was looking out the window at school. This is in Chicago. It was a 3-story school. And I was looking out the window. I remember seeing it, this little white, bright dot. And I'm going, wait, that's real bright. And it just disappeared. I mean, it was not an airplane where it was, from a distance, the airplane's moving like this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this thing just and disappeared.
Like insanely fast.
Yeah, it just vanished. Okay. And that was my first and only encounter with something like that.
I've had a few, like 3, but my main one that I will never forget, which, because this was I was 18. It was literally Thanksgiving night in 2011. 2011 Thanksgiving night, I was at a friend's house, and this wasn't far. At the time he lived next to Liberty Middle School, which there's like a football field, and right next to the football field there was houses, and the football field was just open. Like, it's a big field. It's just really dark, and we were just walking the field, just bored, whatever. I was actually on my phone. I didn't even notice it. My friend, it was funny because he was just like, "Hey, way, UFO way," the valley talk.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Look at UFO." I looked up, and what I saw, of course, because UFO just means unidentified flying object. Excuse me. Because it didn't even look like a freaking spacecraft of any or whatever, like a flying saucer. It didn't look anything like that. When I looked up, I just saw these 2 really fluorescent balls of light, which they were illuminating its own light source. It was just its own balls of energy, 2 balls of energy, just in an 8 formation. I'm not even kidding you, literally orbiting each other in an 8 formation, like that, hovering in the sky, low. I want to say at least 2 palm trees high, at the most, which is pretty low,
real low,
low. Silence is hell, silence. If you didn't see it, you wouldn't even have known it was there. I didn't even know. My friend just happened to see it. And this was just a matter of seconds. When he said that, "Look at UFO," I looked up, I see it hovering each other, and then it separated, and then it came back together. And then when it came back together, it just in a flash, straight back up into the sky, gone.
Yeah.
And my mind I was freaking, I was boom, I was freaking, mind blown, what was that?
Yeah.
And to this day, I've never seen anything like that. I have seen questionable things in the sky, those one time I was in downtown McAllen during the day. My sister was shopping, and I was like, I'll stay in the fucking car, I'm not gonna get down. And then I was just chilling there, and I look up in the sky, and I see like this spherical shape, like a metallic. You know, speaking of metallic spherical things, like that's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that twice, but the first time I saw it, it was in downtown McAllen. I saw it hovering just like this, like pretend it's just up there in the sky, but you just see like a spherical shape, metallic shape, just in a big circle, just like that, like in a big circle, over and over and over and over again. It was really weird. And then the other time I saw that, it was actually there at it was in my sister's apartment actually. Like they were having a barbecue. I went over and we were outside, and for whatever reason we were just looking at this because my sister likes stargazing and all that. So we just so happened to be like looking at the sky, and I saw the same thing, but this time it was just hovering, like just the same shape, same thing. It looked like a steel, like metallic ball of some sort.
Yeah.
Just hovering real slowly just across like that. I mean, I don't know what that could have been, but I mean, it looked really sus to me.
So safe to say you believe in UFOs.
I believe in UFOs. The whole alien debate, that is a whole different, like, discussion. I mean, then again, like everyone says, we're not. Well, what most people say, like we're not the only planet out there in the galaxy. The galaxy is infinite, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might be something out there. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think it's wrong to think that we're the only living things in this ginormous galaxy or space or whatever you want to call it. It's been said that they go to a beach and you take 1 grain of sand, 1 grain, that's our galaxy. And for that, you take those beaches with that 1 grain of sand, each grain of sand is a galaxy. And they say, I don't know how they know this or how they figure this crap out, but for that beach, there's a million other beaches with a gazillion number of galaxies all over the place that we don't even know about.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept.
And so how can it be that we're the only people, the only living things?
Right? Like, how is it that out of all, if it's true that there are infinite galaxies and planets, it just so happens in our only galaxy and this only planet that can sustain life. Like, I doubt it.
No, yeah, exactly.
We just don't have the capability of just seeing what's out there yet, I'm assuming. Unless they do, but they won't tell us. That's like a total another topic.
That's a very good possibility. At this point, I do believe that there's a lot. You know what? And I'm not even going to say it's the government that knows, because a lot of people in the government are not even privy to this information.
Right.
Even the president, if he can go down and say, "Yeah, I want to know what's going on with this," and they'll tell him to go pound sand. Nope. He doesn't even have that level of clearance.
Yeah. It's literally
very sensitive stuff. And it's I think there's so much that they're hiding. I think what happened in Roswell did happen.
Like in the late 40s, I think. Or
Roswell, the alien crash, and the word. You guys should watch that documentary called Unacknowledged. It's on I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon Prime. It used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore, but it's definitely on Amazon Prime. And they took bodies, and they took alien bodies, and some of those alien survived for a few years beyond that crash. And like, whoa, this is like real heavy duty stuff. And then you got things like here, I want to play a little bit of this. There was a show called Monster Quest that used to be on.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah, Monster Quest.
So Monster Quest did a thing about giant birds, like not like eagles, but kind of like I don't even know what you would call them. But this bird has been seen, and its wingspan, I don't know, it's 15 or 20 feet or something like that. And in Pennsylvania, it was a little kid playing outside, and the bird came up and tried to pick up the child. It picked him up, and only because the child started moving around trying to fight it off is that the bird dropped him. But you know how big a bird's got to be to pick up a kid? I mean,
Didn't
think
that
about it.
didn't that like video go kind of viral or something like that?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about and then in that program about the bird, they call them birdzillas. The Brownsville came up. I'm like, what? So this is let me show you this.
Bird and visual markers they can compare it against.
Watch this.
1995, Brownsville, Texas, 4:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Guadalupe Cantu is delivering newspapers. Suddenly, his brother-in-law tells him to stop.
What would you do if you saw this? Obviously, there's a
Perched on
reenactment.
a telephone pole just off the road in front of their car sits a giant bird.
I saw really like a giant ancient vulture or eagle, some predator bird.
Yeah.
Most of it was black. It looked like it had stooped up shoulders, real high. I saw it turning this way, and it had a curved beak.
Because the bird is sitting on the pole, Guadalupe believes he can make an approximate estimate of the creature's size.
What did you do? You saw that thing.
And this bird stood about 8 feet tall, more or less, about 1/3 the size of a telephone pole. It had an enormous wingspan, anywhere from 15 to 25 feet. You take like a condor or the eagles that you see in flight, this bird's about 5 times bigger than that.
Guadalupe Cantu identified a bird that most closely resembles the extinct territorian. And if Cantu's sighting isn't easily explained away using perspective, the case of a small boy in Lawndale, Illinois is even more perplexing.
It had a 15-foot wingspan on it. I mean, it was huge.
This is the story I was talking about. Illinois, not Pennsylvania. Anyway, so that bird was spotted here in Texas, in Brownsville.
Dude, you know that you say that, like, I mean, I don't know. I grew up with the old neighbor, and I always thought he was chipping out like this guy because he would smoke weed, you know, and this and that. And this was like a decade ago. And I remember one night he was telling me, because we used to live in this apartment complex when I was younger.
Lynn, I'll put this back up in a second. All right. Okay.
We were neighbors in this old apartment complex when we were a lot younger, and he told me at night, he's like, I don't know how, because we brought up the subject of just like creepy stuff, whatever, and then like he even said, he was like, man, like one night I was, you know, smoking out, and I saw like this big bird. I'm like, what?
No.
I was like, are you sure it wasn't an owl or whatever? He's like, I don't know what it was, but I just saw this big bird. And I was thinking, damn, this guy is like, he's smoking too much or something. But I don't know, like, who knows? I don't know what he saw. I mean, come on, like, because, yeah, like, come on, weed doesn't, like, make you hallucinate like that, you know what I mean? I don't know if you ever smoked, but I'm just saying, like,
no, not here.
Okay, well, I don't think weed fucking really. I mean, I used to smoke when I was a lot younger, and it never made me trip out like that. I definitely don't smoke now, but back when I did, of course. I mean, to anyone who knows that, I don't think it makes you trip out like that.
If you're talking about marijuana, yeah. I don't think that's
marijuana,
not a hallucinogen, and
right.
I've never heard of anybody like seeing things like that. The other hard stuff like acid.
No, yeah, like no, the marijuana. Yeah, I'm just talking about marijuana.
Yeah.
He would tell me like, yeah, man, I would see this big bird. Like it was insane. He would like go on this whole trip telling me how huge it was. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was just a big owl. I don't know.
That's possible. But, I mean, the birds that are real big right now are called turkey vultures, and those things, I think they can have up to an 8-foot wingspan, and that's pretty big.
Yeah,
and I see one in flight on a video, and that I mean, you look at it, flying just above the trees.
Some owls definitely grow fucking huge though, like they do. So it could have been possible it was that too. I mean, who knows until we really see it ourselves.
Yeah. What do you think about Bigfoot? The thing that's been seen so many times, yet video, kind of like UFOs. For the longest time, and even recently, anytime somebody takes a UFO video, it's always crappy footage, terrible quality.
looks like it looks like it was caught like in 2002 or something.
Right, yeah, or 2072 maybe. But with all this technology, this mobile phones everybody's got, even the crappy mobile phones have decent cameras on them.
Yeah.
Why are all these videos of Bigfoot, supposed Bigfoot, such bad quality? And that's what kind of raises a flag, like, it's probably fake. They're using the bad quality to, this, I don't know. I just
yeah, because if something with more detail will point out that it's obviously fake. But I don't know. I've always fake or not, I've always been into like cryptozoology type things. So even though like even if I think Bigfoot is fake, it just still like intrigues me. Like I just like all that, stuff.
Yeah, it is. And I got caught up in a story of it actually was on Art Bell. It was one of the Art Bell episodes where this guy, I think it was Alabama or Mississippi, said they were hunting at night, and people they were frowning on that, but they were hunting at night because they were hunting for fur. Yeah. So, and they came across this tall thing that stood up, and they shot it, and they said they ended up killing it, and then they buried it. And then for years they buried it. And then he called Art Bell one day and said, this happened and this happened. This is how you can reach me. He was a fake name. And he said, I can take you to it, but, I need help with if I get arrested and charged with murder, I need legal representation. And if you can help me with that, then I'll tell you the story and I'll tell you where the body of this thing is at.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't ever know what happened to that. But he explained the whole story about how he shot the Bigfoot like 2 or 3 times. These are high-powered rifles, I imagine.
Dude, what are your thoughts on duendes?
On the what?
On duendes.
On the duendes?
No. Duendes. You don't believe in those?
What is that? I don't even know what that
is. Like in Mexican folklore, kind of, I guess duendes, I believe they translate to what are the goblins? I think they're kind of like little like devilish little things that just fuck around with people. I guess you never heard of that?
Really? No.
Yeah, it's like really popular in Mexican folklore, even like all the way down to Brazil and stuff like that, Argentina. Like,
oh, see, I gotta look into that. No, I hadn't.
Yeah, there's many people here in the valley that claim to like experience them and stuff like that. It's more heavily like towards like Mexican folklore.
Nope. The only thing Mexican I know about paranormal wise is La Llorona. That spirit. I don't even know if that's a real true thing or not, or is it just a movie thing?
Yeah, like goblins, gnomes, pretty much. That's what they are.
Duendes are gnome. Okay, gnome. So like little. Okay, I get. Okay, let me go back to Lynn's comment here. Having lived next to the airport for years, I knew airplane schedules, and I know I saw a UFO with flashing red lights hovering stationary and suddenly flying off in high speeds. Twice I saw this. I spoke to the meteorologist at the airport, the National Weather Substation, and explained to me it could definitely not be a weather balloon. I saw because it's done at 6 p.m. monthly. I saw it around 10 or 11 p.m. I'll never forget. And I believe, yes, I know you do, believe that UFOs exist. I saw a weather balloon, or one version of a weather balloon, go up one time, and it was for people to say, "Oh, it was a weather balloon; it was not a UFO." I think that's an insult to my intelligence, because the thing literally just went up and it was kind of floating around. It had no lights on it at all whatsoever. Those things can only go so high before they burst.
Yeah.
And then they just get lost. So, yeah, I think there are UFOs, and for some reason they don't want to tell, or they don't want the public to know, even though they keep releasing more and more videos here and there. Every year they'll release a video. Like the last one that came out from the Air Force. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh yeah.
When they're chasing it looks like a little ball that they're chasing around.
Yeah. And they were like saying like, "Oh, what the hell is that?" or something like that.
Yeah, that's happened before. They were talking to guys who were watching this a UFO on a radar, and it would go from different altitudes to different distances.
But that one was old, right? That was like a while back. I remember there was one that was
a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video of them tracking a UFO that would literally go, all right, it's at 20,000 feet. And then 2 seconds later, it's like it's up the coast at a different state 2 seconds later. And they're like, oh, no, there it is. It's over here now. And it just kept popping around at will wherever it wanted to be. And that's some kind of technology.
Someone commented, there are Duende videos on YouTube. Yeah, there's actually one. The number one most like popular Duende video is actually just like kids playing in their living room, I think playing like soccer or something, and you just see like this weird little figure like running around. You should actually I should send you a link actually.
Yeah, send it. And I'll definitely pop that up there while I read this comment here.
Yeah.
Lynn, you got stories tonight. That's awesome. Since you asked about Bigfoot, I'll share my hubby's driving story, driving near Smoky Mountains in dark. He says he believes he saw something similar to Bigfoot because it was such a flash to see some human type, two-legged being that suddenly stepped in the middle of the road with one step able to cross the road. Oh, I've heard that before too, that these things are so tall. They have such a long stride that one step, on a narrow road, a single car road, they can just cross right over with one step. And let's see, step across the road while I turned to see the car approach, and Hobie saw two glowing eyes. It was like 2 or 3 second thing that happened quickly. That's his experience. I totally believe that. I've heard the similar story many times. And that's why everybody go and get a dash cam for your car. I think it's very important to have a dash cam. That's awesome. Lynn, does that freak him out though? Does that scare him necessarily? I don't know how I feel about that. Duende video. Okay, there you go, Lucy. Thanks, Lucy, leaving us. Okay, good night. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Just like mermaids, life forms are out there. Mother Nature. I don't know. Mermaids. I don't know. I think Bigfoot. It's possible. These monster birdzillas is possible, but mermaids is where I gotta draw the line.
Mermaids?
Yeah, I'm not feeling the mermaid. Even gnomes or what do you call them? Duendes? Yeah, okay. I can
I think it's this one though. I sent it to you right now on Facebook. I think that one was the original video. Because it looks kind of like weird, like how that thing just moves. Because it was uploaded back in like 2006, 2005 on YouTube. It was old.
Let's see what we got here. There's a video. Let me set this up real quick, guys.
It looks like shit because it's like a video from back in the day, in early YouTube.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Let me share this here. Okay, we ready? And here we go. Let me take this comment off of here real quick. Okay.
Ya, güey. Te quedas aquí. Valoran, ya no. Ya, güey. No, voy por eso. Ay, no mames, güey, ya vieron.
Oh crap! I saw that back there.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like what the hell?
It's like right here at the towards the end of the video. It's like right. I can almost see it right there, right behind him.
Yeah.
Whoa. What the heck here? Just one more time. One more time.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like what the hell? There's like many other videos like that on YouTube. I think that's like the most famous one. I think.
See, and then it's like, what? Why does it end? It's like,
yeah, that's when it gets kind of questionable. And you like why does that happen? Unless they're like, who knows, dude? I really don't know.
You see, and that's the other shady thing about even UFOs or even Bigfoot. You know, some of the footage,
they always
and then all of a sudden
like
it just
right
cuts.
when it gets good.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And it cuts abruptly, and that's what that kind of thing that pisses me off. It's like,
with any of paranormal type videos, like any like even ghost type videos too, people like tend to do the same thing. Well, then again, it's kind of like the real like paranormal community is really like debatable nowadays, because now we have like things like TikTok and a lot of these like YouTube videos blowing up just for making fake ghost videos, and it's just like really not helping the cause. Like
it's not. I asked Lynn about does her husband creeped out by that. No, he's not freaked out. I've traveled with him over mountains, and I'm eager to see Bigfoot, but I've only seen deer. This is just nonchalant, but doesn't talk about it. He's only shared that with me so far, not even to his mom. It's like, oh, yeah. I mean, you know, there's this taboo where if you tell somebody you've seen a UFO or a Bigfoot, they're like, yeah, right, whatever. You know, what were you smoking that night? and especially in the military, you can get in trouble for talking about that stuff. Even the airline pilots still. I mean, now and more, it's becoming a little more acceptable to talk about and say you saw something. But generally speaking, they don't want pilots talking about that stuff, and especially over live radio to air traffic control or anything like that.
Really? No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I just got done working in the airline business, and that was always talked about. Every time we got a chance, I would ask them, and they're like, "Yeah, they don't want us to talk about that, especially over the radio."
Well, so like you're like a pilot or something?
Oh no, I was a ground handling crew, and every chance I got, and every time their plane came down and was there for a little while, I would ask them, "You guys see anything up there?" And I remember the first time I ever asked years ago, he said, "Nope." He goes, "I haven't, but if we do, we're not supposed to talk about it." And
whoa, that's pretty insane. So that just goes to show that who knows, maybe a lot of pilots see a lot of shit.
I'm sure they do. The most famous one was, well, not most famous, but there was some Japanese pilots, and they saw this little ball following their plane right next to them, right next to the flight deck or cockpit.
Yeah.
And the thing, again, it was a white ball, and then it just in an instant just disappeared and took off. And they said he was right there with him. He said it started off as a little ball, and then it turned out, they said it looked like a cruise ship at sea. That's how big it was.
No way.
Yeah, it was bigger than an aircraft, and it was there at whatever 30,000 whatever feet. And
but how did people not notice that though? Like,
yeah, well, it was in the middle of the night, so I'm sure a lot of people were asleep.
True.
But thanks. Like, how do you not talk about that? It's like I'd want to tell somebody, like, guess what I saw? You know what I mean? Like, try to get your camera out, your phone, try to take a picture of it somehow.
Yeah.
But all this stuff is I wish that more people were open to it, and that it would open up their mind to things. I mean, to think that, again, and this all starts with, we are not the only people in this universe. We can't be the only living creatures. They might not look like us. They might look like, I don't know, who knows, ants or birdsillas or whatever, but there's other technology. What are these things flying around? I'll tell you, watch the documentary Unacknowledged.
Yeah, I will.
Tell me what you think about that.
Very good.
It's real good. I mean, it's a documentary, but it's not one of these cheesy documentaries where they only show like sketchy footage and stuff. All the footage that they show has been examined, and it's all like legit stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. Sounds good.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Homework: watch Unacknowledged. I've been saying this for months and months and months already. Watch Unacknowledged, and Yeah, it's been an interesting evening, man. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out and doing the show with me. It's actually people are always sending me messages. Hey, when are you gonna do one of these? When are you gonna do one of those? And it's
Hey man,
definitely
it was a pleasure being on here. Honestly, it was pretty fun talking all this. I've always wanted to do something like this, you know, but I never really found anyone to really like chat with, you know, like doing like online like podcast type thing. So it was pretty cool to actually, you know, test the waters with it.
Yeah, and if you want to do it again, just be sure to hit. You got to have all your clips all set up and ready. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, because
that
this
kind
time
of
it
thing.
was kind of like last minute, so I didn't really have anything really set
Yeah,
up.
no, that's what, yeah.
I just winged it for tonight.
Nah, totally understandable. I'm just saying if we're gonna do these again, or if you're gonna do your own, or if we do another one of these again, definitely you know, we set things up and you're ready to go with clips, and it's always fun. People like to see this stuff. And although some people get scared, I think they like to get scared. They like to be scared.
Hey, well, I mean it's October, so it kind of
This is
makes
the
sense.
month. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
definitely.
the month to be scared.
Probably do one of these, do something else coming up by or before Halloween.
You know, I kind of like had a thing like since it's October, I kind of wanted to do like maybe like a Halloween sort of like a Halloween special or just like October special, just because you know it's in the spirit, you know, of Halloween and all that. I kind of wanted to like record maybe a group investigation, so I don't know, maybe if any of your viewers would be up for that or something like that, just to like possibly meet up in a group if they're in the valley, of course. If your viewers are in the valley, or
yeah.
they
Well, a
wanna
lot of
come
them
to the
are.
valley, by all means. If they want to come, I mean,
we got viewers in Pennsylvania, Nevada, California. They're all over, but I would say the majority of them are here in the valley somewhere, if not Brownsville, from here to all the way up to McAllen. So
yeah, because that definitely sounds fun. Like I definitely wouldn't mind like meeting up people and to film, have a good time, you know, just for a cool little video for, you know, October stuff like that.
yeah, we even talked about down here setting up a like an unofficial ghost tour, getting permission from UTRGV Brownsville.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I heard that
cool,
campus is
yeah.
very, very haunted here and there. So if we can get permission to walk around the grounds on the outside, that could be interesting too. And it kind of like a meet and greet kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm pretty sure that they're open to that type of things.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you know, we're not going to cause damage or that kind of thing, or
right.
whatever. But yeah, there's something to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night. Oh, hang on. Well, that makes sense. He probably doesn't talk about it due to military background and training, I guess. Yes. This was cool knowledge to get together. To get tonight, I'll never know, but I questioned him specifically about Bigfoot due to the series going on years back. Yeah, I don't know, the Bigfoot thing. More recently, there was a guy who said he had Bigfoot. He shot and killed him, and he stuffed him in a freezer in his garage.
Dude, I think I remember seeing that.
You remember seeing that? That was just a couple years ago, if even that.
It was like on the news, but it was like turned out to be like, you know, it was like a rubber suit or something like that.
You know, I don't know what turned of it. I think it was a fake thing, but he said he had he had cut off his head, and he brought it out and he put it on the porch, and you know, I was hoping it was real.
Yeah.
Just to go, finally, somebody got a Bigfoot, and there's one there. But at the same time, like, oh, I hope they didn't kill him just to kill him. You know, I say let the Bigfoot live. Don't kill him unless he's gonna. I mean, if your life is at stake, well, that's a different story, right? But you know, if you come across a Bigfoot, don't kill him. Just get your iPhone
get a
or
good,
your Samsung phone and get some good video footage or something.
Yeah, don't bust out your Nokia phone recording like it's still 2001. Like get a good quality camera.
Yeah, or your little Kodak camera with it's
something.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. We will definitely be in touch again.
Had a good time on here, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna call it a night too. Pretty tired, so I'll catch you next time, man. We'll be in touch, man. We should do something like this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging up. You know how to hang up there. You got your little button there. It'll take you out.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, Motorola flip phone from 2000, right? Yeah.
There it is. The Motorola flip phone.
Little Nokia. Yeah.
All right, man. Good
Everyone,
night,
thanks for
guys.
hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the night. Please share the video. Give the page a like. And on YouTube also, give us a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Have a great night, and I'll schedule one of these again, and we'll see you in a couple of days. Oh, Monday, I've got Mr. Ernesto. I don't know if you're interested in this or not. Ernesto Ramirez, his teenage son passed away after he got vaccinated for COVID. And he's been having a horrible experience ever since then with the hospitals, with the legal system.
Dude, that is like a totally another like episode for that topic alone. If you want to go into all that.
Yeah, that's yeah, you're right. And that situation is messed up. His son passed away after getting vaccinated. He's getting to run around, and he wants to come and tell his story. So we will have him on Monday night, and I'll put out the ad for that tomorrow. So check back with the page, and that should be an interesting evening. Other than that, everyone have a great night and have a great Sunday tomorrow. You too, Mario. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you so much. Good night, guys.
Have a great
Bye,
night.
everyone. Had fun.